the plain band on his finger, trying to ignore the slight dent in the cheap silver. The whore tutted softly in disappointment, an ingratiating gesture designed to flatter, but the deceit was plain as her eyes swept over his ruddy face, his thinning hair, his expanding paunch. "Might be I can do you a special price, what with the celebrations and all. What your wife don't know won't harm her none, ain't that so?" The woman's voice held a note of disinterest now, as if she'd decided she'd already worked hard enough for whatever meagre reward she might glean. The assumption angered Tarn, not least because it was correct. "You know what it feels like to be loved? To have someone there for you no matter what, whatever stupid damn thing you do to drive 'em away? A woman like that deserves a man who stays faithful." "Whatever you say, mister. Plenty more like you will pass this way tonight, most with better spirits and deeper pockets, I'd wager." And the woman shoved past him. Tarn snorted in annoyance. His left knee was beginning to ache, as it always did ever since the accident. He resumed his slow journey home. The light was beginning to fade. Dark clouds had sprung up in the half-bell it had taken Tarn to reach the industrial sector, known locally as East Tar, adding yet another layer of grey to the smog-filled skyline. The forges lay cold and dormant in the midst of the city's celebrations, but little evidence of the festivities had permeated this part of Shadowport. East Tar was a dreary, moribund place. For Tarn, it was home. He cursed his bad leg as it sent a fierce stab of pain down into his knee. The sudden jolt caused him to stumble forward into a suspicious damp patch on the ground. A boy's laughter reached his ears. "See that, Thomas? That bastard nearly flopped face down into your piss. He's probably drunk again." Tarn's fists balled, the anger surging within him. There were 6 of them, local lads, an ugly bunch. One of the youths swaggered right up to him and sniffed. "He's not drunk. For once. Guess his wife is safe tonight. You saw those bruises he gave her? Yeah, her face was all yellow and brown like a dog turd." The speaker, now safely back among his fellows, gave Tarn a sly look. "Still, put a bag over her head and it'd make no difference, know what I mean?" The youth thrust his hips forward and made grunting noises, much to the delight of the rest of the gang. Tarn began to shake. He stepped toward them, his face bulging in rage. In an instant, the youth's casual amusement switched to deadly seriousness, their feral eyes locked on him, hands straying to their belts. Tarn knew the odds weren't in his favour. He didn't care. He just wanted to hurt them. At that moment, the first patter of rain began to fall. With it came something intangible and unseen, a convergence of vast energies that all present sensed but could not articulate. "Huh," said one of the gang, and looked around at his fellows. "Best get back," Thomas said. "I have to let Tyro in. He don't like the rain." The others nodded, murderous thoughts replaced by concern for their friend's dog. They melted away into the gathering rain, shooting Tarn baleful glares, but saying nothing. Tarn bowed his head against the acidic rain as he made his unsteady way through the slippery streets. He needed to get home. Sarah would be waiting for him. The wind had picked up, gusting cold water into his face. He blinked it away. Night had settled over the city like a blanket. He hated what he'd become, but what could he do? The drink had broken him as completely as the falling cargo had shattered his leg. All the coin he had put aside for the last 10 years, a full 10 gold spires, gone on a physician who had saved the limb, but left him crippled and broke. Sarah deserved better. He was almost home. What if she'd left before he had the chance to apologize? She was younger than him, a woman in her prime. She hadn't been able to provide him with any children, but there were apothecaries in the city who might have helped with that. Shadowport's recent advances in the sciences had been the talk of the Trine before the war. There was no chance of hiring an apothecary now, not with his